Hunt Showdown is a super unique game, and I suggest you give it a try if you haven't. But the first few hours, well, you're going to be getting the hang of it, and it's definitely going to be stressful. There are so many great first-person shooters out there. In the comments section, as we get started on this video, tell me what your favorite all-time FPS game is. And a lot of them often have some really good sound design. But what are the sounds that you hear in an FPS game and you immediately get worried? What is up, everybody? Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the video. Today, we are going to be checking out the 10 worst sounds to hear in a first-person shooter. You be sure to let me know which of these gets the best reaction out of you when you heard it. And drop a like, make sure your notifications are turned on. And let's just get right into it. These will all be from FPS games. These are those sounds that you hear and you either know it's too late or you dread what is on the horizon. First up is the witch's cry in Left 4 Dead. Let's start things off with the I don't know if this is a phrase or not, the most poop-inducing sound in video game history, maybe? The witch? Well, it's a very uncommon enemy type in the original Left 4 Dead that you could avoid completely if you were careful. But she could completely ruin your day if you provoked her. The witch spawned rather unpredictably, and when she did spawn, she would start crying. At which point, you stop dead in your tracks and you start desperately looking around for her. Nothing is worse than cruising through a level. All things are going good, all the guns and the ammo you could ever need, and then having all that come to a screeching halt because you hear those creepy cries from down the hall. And then the screams she lets out when you startle her, well, those may as well be, it might as well be a double entry. The screams and the cries. Okay, let's get off screams and cries, and what about the roar? The Pinky's roar in Doom 2016. I said in a video about a year ago that Pinky in Doom 2016 is one of the most frustrating video game enemies of all time, and I stand by that today. The Pinky is a longtime enemy in the Doom franchise, but in 2016, they upped the frustration level, mainly due to how narrow some of the arenas could be and how much damage they could pump out in a short time. Plus, to shake your nerves even more, when a Pinky spawns into the battlefield and gets sight of you, well, they let out this raspy roar. If you hear this roar and you're not in combat, it's probably fine. But if you're in the middle of fighting a whole bunch of other demons, and then you hear the Pinky roar, you know you are about to get completely messed up. Here's an iconic one for you. The energy sword activation sound in Halo. Terrifying. The energy sword is one of the most iconic weapons in video game history. Whenever you're playing with it on a map, it's crazy. And the spawn will always be one of the most hotly contested areas of the match. But nothing in Halo multiplayer will make you crap your pants faster than when you're running around, minding your own business, and all of a sudden, you hear that crack of the energy sword, and you know it's not from one of your teammates. Or even more specifically, you're playing the Halo campaign, the original Halo campaign, and you hear that sword. This thing can kill you with a single hit, and in most Halo games, the lunge is pretty generous. Think about Commando Lunge from Modern Warfare 2. So if you're close enough to hear it, there's a good chance you're about to get sent back to the lobby in multiplayer, or you're about to reset at a spawn point in the campaign. At number 7, sniper shots in PUBG. Now, PUBG is a game all about sound. If you're not sound whoring, you're not going to win. And that's part of the fun of the game. Gunshots in general can be pretty nerve-wracking in PUBG because of how harshly they break the silence, but nothing will get you out faster than when you're walking around and all of a sudden you hear a sniper shot crack in the distance. At that point, you have to get cover and you start desperately looking for where it came from, all while not standing still because you don't know if they're lining up a shot right on your dome as you're looking for them. Snipers can end you with a single shot in PUBG, or at the very least, they can turn the fight against you. So hearing them at all is enough to send anybody into a panic, especially people with a really good headset on. Okay, let's go back to Left 4 Dead. The jockey in Left 4 Dead 2 this time. The jockey is an enemy type in Left 4 Dead 2, and I don't think his sounds are quite as scary as the witch in the first game, but I think the jockey can definitely provoke more panic from a player when they hear it. The jockey is a hard one to fight, And if they manage to get hold of one of your teammates, they can actually steer you into tanks and other zombies, which will completely destroy your team composition. The jockey is pretty weak on his own, but he has the capability to end your entire run single-handedly and then laughs when he charges at you. It's nightmare fuel. It's horrible. It's bad. Here's one I absolutely love. And for some reason, I can't snipe at all in FPS games, but for some reason, when I pick up the Kraber in Apex Legends, I know what I'm doing. It's crazy. Kraber is one of the most intimidating guns in the entire game. Apex Legends is a game with a very long time to kill. Demands a lot of aim and precision from players, but the Kraber is a legendary weapon that will spawn only once, maybe twice in a match. And if you know someone has it, it's enough to make even the most experienced Apex player hesitate. It's a bolt-action sniper, capable of dropping anybody from a distance with a single headshot. Even if they just hit you in the body, that will drop you if you're already hurt. Even if you're at full health, the Kraber shot will put you in a very, very bad predicament. Now, basically what I'm saying is it's literally always a terrible thing to get hit by a Kraber. And the crack of this thing firing is one of the absolute worst sounds you can hear when you're in the final 5. At number 4, let's stick with snipers. The heavy sniper in Fortnite. Now, the heavy sniper recently got nerfed in Fortnite, but that doesn't mean it won't get your anxiety kicking in. It's a very rare weapon that can deal over 120 damage with a single hit to a player and down them with a single headshot from any distance on the map. But the main reason people fear it is the structure damage. The heavy sniper will destroy any structure or set piece in the game with a single bullet, which makes it extremely powerful for late game box fights. If someone has a heavy sniper, they can just push right at someone, heavy snipe their wall down, and jump in to kill them before they have enough time to process what happened. I mean, the heavy sniper used to do over 150 damage to players with a body shot, and that was recently nerfed, thank you, but the structure damage remains intact. And if you're in the late game and you hear one of these babies crack off, you know you're about to have to change your game plan completely. At number 3, every gunshot in Hunt Showdown. This is a very intense game. It's a blend of PvP and PvE where you go out, you complete objectives, but you're also in a race to beat other teams to those same objectives. If you're out doing a bounty, you're going to be focused on the monsters and the objectives, but then you hear a gunshot in the distance. Now, monsters don't have guns in this game, so if you hear a gunshot near you, it's 1000% because another team is nearby. You then have to make a decision. Do you run? Do you set up for a standoff? Do you keep fighting the monsters and you risk being heard? Hunt Showdown is a super unique game, and I suggest you give it a try if you haven't. But the first few hours, well, you're going to be getting the hang of it, and it's definitely going to be stressful. There are a few first-person shooters that can make the player nervous just with the sound of gunshots. And the Hunt, well, it can do it. At number 2, head crabs in Half-Life 2. Now, Half-Life 2 is actually a pretty scary game. People don't really give Valve enough credit for that. Now, the game isn't super scary on the surface, but it gets a whole lot of mileage out of the sound design, which is perfect. Every enemy has a unique sound, and a lot of them are very haunting. The head crabs, in particular, will certainly get your skin crawling when you hear them. Their squeaks and shrieks will make you start looking around, and when you finally see them, and they start jumping at you, you're probably going to jump out of your chair at least just a little bit. But that does raise the question. Do you guys think Half-Life 3 is on the way now that Half-Life Alyx was a success? Do you really want Half-Life 3? Or would you rather that legend rest forever? Now, personally, I don't know if I want it to come out anymore because I feel like nothing Valve makes will live up to the 15 years of anticipation of the game.
Tactical nuke incoming! Enemy nuke incoming! It's over!
And at number 1, this is easy. It's default. Enemy nuke incoming in COD. I mean, there was no doubt. With all the other sounds in this video, you can at least do something about each one. The sounds are a warning or a precursor of what's to come, and you can change course to avoid it. However, if you hear the nuke warning in a COD game, it's usually over. Now, there's a few different iterations of this over COD history. The nuke in Modern Warfare 2, the Moab in Modern Warfare 3, the DNA bomb in Advanced Warfare, so on and so forth. But if I had to pick a favorite, it is definitely going to be the tactical nuke in Modern Warfare 2. The panic in the announcer's voice is iconic, and the countdown sound effects are unmatched. I mean, do you remember what map you were on when you first got nuked for the first time? Did you even keep fighting when you heard the countdown? Or did you just set the controller down and accept your fate? You guys let me know. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you have some more iconic sounds that you feel should have made it, definitely let us know in the comments. I'll see you soon.